Last Thursday in downtown Orlando, that is Noel Carter lying on the ground, shouting for an off-duty policeman to stop kicking him as he sat on a curb outside of a nightclub. So this is a different angle, a different shot. Noel Carter running away from those officers prior to what you just saw. He was shouting at them, or they were shouting at him to get on the ground, and they were deploying their tasers at that point. And this is what Noel Carter looked like when he was finally arrested and brought in and booked. Mr. Carter was on CNN this morning.
You can clearly see that I sat on the curb. He hovers over me for 2 seconds and waits for the other officer to approach before he literally stomps me in the head. And the other cop comes up and stomps me in the head again, and they continue to brutalize me at that point and literally beat me like a dog in the street.
So that's one side of the story. The police say there is another side as well. They say Mr. Carter was drunk. He denies that. The police say that Mr. Carter was getting physical with a woman. He denies that, but the woman does say he was drunk. The police involved are still on duty, and their boss says that he has no intention right now of doing anything to kick them off the force. Orlando's police chief instead says in the interest of transparency, he has outside investigators this case.
There's a lot more to the story, beginning at the nightclub when Mr. Carter was intoxicated, put his hands on a woman. Our officers tried to interfere. There's video and witness statements that say he resisted our officers' efforts, fled the scene, and beyond that, he was at one point on top of one of our officers and punched another officer.
So what we see in one of these videos is him sitting on the curb. That's a video that obviously a lot of people are pointing to when the officer kicks him while he's sitting on the curb. As Carter's attorney said pretty clearly, said this: the police department's not trained to beat, punch, kick, tase people who are in a passive position. There's nowhere in the training matrix that you will ever see that. So is it ever okay to kick someone when they're seemingly passively sitting on the curb? Explain that moment to us from your perspective.
Well, like I said, that's only a small piece of the picture, and I'm not going to comment until I have the full and complete investigation.
The attorney, though, says you don't need to know the totality of the situation to understand in that moment what was happening right there is wrong. Do you disagree?
Of course you need the totality of the circumstances. Like I said, this individual, the incident didn't start right there. This individual, Mr. Carter, had fought with officers, punched one of our officers, was on top of one of our officers, fled, had tried to pull out taser prongs when he was tased. So there's a lot more to the story. But like I said, let's let the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, a third-party independent, do the entire investigation, and all those findings will be made public.